AT over at the Women in Racing luncheon during the week. Now we move on to race 6, the Gold Coast Magic Millions 3-year-old Guineas, a $1 million race over the 1,400 metres for the 3-year-old graduates. Now, I've tipped number 3, Top Drop from Gerald Ryan stable. He's been in top form lately. I think he'll be hard to beat. I've thrown in 5, Startsmeup from the Bruce Hill stable. Been in good form as well of late up here for Bruce. I've thrown in number 11, Celtic Dancer from Noel Doyle stable, who got up at the big odds last start. And for 4th, I've thrown in the Gay Waterhouse trained Bright Expectations. So I've given you 4 here so you can box them up and away you go.
Steve?
Well, I've only kept mine down to 3, but anyway, well, I'm actually not too far off, Paul. I think Top Drop is the horse to beat. Gerald has a happy knack of bringing them up here and getting the job done, and Snitzel should enjoy the wet track, and he looks the horse to me. American Crew from Chris Waller put in an enormous effort last start, just got run down in the final few strides with a big weight, and the local starts me up as my 3rd choice.
Yeah, well, I'm totally opposite to both of you. I've put in number...
What would surprise me? What would surprise me?
I've gone with 13, Demanding Miss. I've got Demanding Miss on top. 12 starts. She's only won the 2 races, but I think down on the limit. By commands out of the Royal Academy. Loves the wet. I'm putting her on top. I've got in Torio's Quest for 2nd, number 10, from the Brett Partel stable with Huey Bowman on board. And I'm putting in number 3, the Gerald Ryan trained Top Drop for 3rd. So I've put 13, 10 and 3. Now, one of the most interesting people I caught up with, and no doubt the most anticipated conversation I had over the last 2 days with his racecourse manager, Stephen Andrews, about the track and whether we are going to be racing on Saturday. And here's what Stephen had to say.
Well, this is the man everyone wants to hear from, course curator for the Gold Coast Turf Club, Steve Andrews. Steve, the latest on the track condition?
Brent, we've had another 20 mil of rain last night, so that takes it up to nearly 70 mil for the week since Saturday. The surface water is starting to clear off the track now, so with the weather that's out there, I'm expecting that we'll have no doubts racing on Saturday at all.
I suppose the next couple of days are crucial, and there's a little bit of fine weather forecast for the Gold Coast, so I suppose that is a blessing for you.
Yeah, that's correct. So long as we can get 48 hours of good drying weather, we'll hold the meeting, no worries at all on Saturday. So we're in the lap of the gods a bit, so if there's more rain comes, we're going to probably be in a bit of doubt. But if the weather forecast is right, yeah, we should be pretty safe.
I must say, Steve, I've spoken to a few of the trainers here at the Gold Coast, and they said with the sand base here, this track just drains absolutely sensationally. So, that's got to be another positive thing.
Yeah, that's correct. And look, with everything being at saturation point at the moment, it still does take a bit to get that water out and away. We do have king tides expected for the next couple of days as well, which do impact a little bit on our drainage system as well. So taking all those factors into account and the weather that we're getting, we should dry out hopefully well enough for a meeting on Saturday.
Terrific. Thanks, Steve. That's
okay,
Steve
Brent.
Andrews, the course curator for the Gold Coast Turf Club.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see whether we race on Saturday. If we have any more rain, it looks possibly it could be called off.
Yeah, it could. As we're filming this at the moment, it's quite dark outside, but it's been a couple of hot days, and I think if we can get those drying days here, it's a terrific track, drains very well, so I'm hopeful we'll go ahead.
It's quite dark outside because it's just turned night time.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Nighttime will do that as well. However, if Paul had managed to look up beforehand, there was also a lot of grey clouds and a little bit of spitting. But yes, no, it is dark outside. Well, good point.
It's hard when you're stuck in a shed all day, Steve.
All right, now it's the big race, the $2 million BMW Magic Millions.
2-year-old classic.
2-year-old classic. What do you think?
I think it's going to be another tremendous race. Obviously, the boom horse from Sydney, Karuta Queen, they're calling her something special, and in my opinion, she's going to have to be special if she's going to get the cash. It's been 6 weeks in between runs. She's never gone out to the 1,200 metres. She's never raced on a wet track, despite the fact that she is bred for it. You would think she'd love it, but it's still an unknown, and she's never raced here on the Gold Coast under racetrack conditions. So I really do think there are a couple of question marks on her, and if she does get the cash on Saturday, I think she's going to be every bit as good as that boom suggests, and perhaps even a little bit more. So I'd be tipping around her.
Yeah, what do you think, Paul?
I think she'll be in there. And
yeah.
Just, I mean, it's a long time in between runs. I mean, the last time as a 2-year-old I saw that was Sebring going from where he won a race and gave him a big let off in between there and the Golden Slipper. So
your opinion on
about 40 odd days or something in between runs.
Yeah. And look, and Sebring ended up being, along with Real Saga, the top-rated colt of the last decade. So that's what I'm saying. I think that if Karuta Queen does end up getting the cash, and she's going to need to be every bit as good as the boom suggests.
Well, there's no doubt she is a top-class filly, and she's going to be thereabouts for sure. What are your selections, Paul?
Well, I've gone for the locally trained. I think Gillian and Hoss are going to win it again. I can't go past Military Grace. She's done nothing wrong, and that she's travelled down to Melbourne, raced down there, then she's come back up here and in 1 or 2 races up here. I know the last start wasn't that impressive, but I mean she was under the weight, heavy track, and she's trained locally here. I just think she's got everything going for her. What do you think of the barrier?
Very hard to win from that barrier. Everything that Paul said is correct. She's by a stallion who can get a 2-year-old runner who can win a big race. In general DM, it's a big ask though when you're drawn out there and you're going to need everything to go to your way. And there's a couple of very high quality horses in the race. She's absolutely in the mix, but for me, she won't be in the top 3 because of the barrier.
Well, I'm going for one at big odds here. I'm putting Fast and Sexy on top from the Chris Wallace stable. It has drawn way out west, but I do like horses. She's shown that she's on the improve. She's won at the 1200. She's had 2 starts. She's going into this third up, and even though, 21, I like her on top. It's a very open race.
Yeah, it is an open race. I mean, I'm very biased. We sold a horse called Pepperjet, who's by Jetspur this time last year, and he's the second favourite for the race. I probably am looking through rose-coloured glasses, but I think he's got so much to recommend. He's had 2 starts, both are undefeated. He's beaten a couple of the fancies for this race in Ingham Magic and 5 o'clock. He's won at the Gold Coast. He's won on a wet track. He's 2 weeks in between races. He's untouched. He's drawn barrier 4, which is perfect for him. And I wouldn't swap him for any of the other runners.
You're making a good case there, but Knightsy Pepperjet's never won over the distance.
No, he hasn't. And I mean, when he beat 5 o'clock, 5 o'clock was carrying the grandstand on the heavy track. He was coming back in distance, and that. Whereas Pepperjet's now got to come up in distance, and that's. It'll be hard act to do. But I know Liam Birchley will have him cherry ripe on the day. He's gone close many times, Liam. This could be the time he breaks through.
Absolutely. Pepperjet himself was also coming back in distance that day, back to the 900, and that was Liam's concern. He just thought they might be too sharp for him, but that horse just trucked in behind them, and he was really motoring. If that had been a 700-metre race, he would have won it. He's out of a Sadler's Wells mare. He'll absolutely eat the 1,200 metres, and I think if he has an ounce of luck, he'll just be too strong. He's got a terrific turn of foot.
Well, you put forward a good case for him, and what else do you like for second and third?
Well, I actually like Paul's favourite horse, 5 o'clock. I think that he did exactly what Paul just said then. He carried the grandstand, he attacked the line nicely. That's all they wanted to see. He didn't get within 3 lengths of Pepperjet in both last start, but he is a good horse. He's proven himself. He's won in town, and he's got Collis and Bailey, which is a massive tick. And for third, you'd have to put on Karuta Queen. They said she just ran time down here on Tuesday that was basically unseen. So she's got to be in there. She's New South Wales best, and I think that Queensland's best are Pepperjet and 5 o'clock. And I would absolutely include Military Grace in that as well. But the barriers just put me off.
Nighty, your top 3?
Well, I give you 4. You know that. Just for your
makes life hard.
Yeah, well.
You need your first 4, your trifectas, box them up, enjoy it all. Doesn't cost you much. Right, I've thrown in 10 Military Grace from the Heinrich stable. I just think she's done the right thing. I mean, I know she has drawn wide, but I really don't think that's going to worry her. And that on the track we're going to be running on Saturday, I'd rather be out than in. For second, I've thrown in number 2. My favourite 2-year-old, 5 o'clock from the Alan Bailey stable.
He's been good to you.
He has been good to me. He just keeps bobbing up. He's an honest horse. For third, I've thrown in number 11, Schiffer. Impressed me in its last win. And that for the Gerald Ryan stable. And for fourth, I've thrown in Internal Revenue. I think he'll be around about the money as well.
Yep.
So that's 10, 2, 11 and 3.
Well,
Great
I've gone.
numbers, those.
Yeah, they are. I like the 12 Fast and Sexy from the Wallace stable. I'm putting in Karuta Queen for second and Pepperjet for third. Well, there you have it, folks. Thanks for joining us, Steve, on our special edition of the Magic Millions.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope I get another run. I'm loving it here.
No doubt we'll get you in for another go.
Good work.
Thanks, Knightsy, and hopefully the Magic Million sales will pick up over the next few days.
Yeah, mate, we're hoping it keeps going the same, and that it's going along all right. So we're happy with how things are going, and that if it picks up a bit more, that'd be lovely.
Fantastic. Well, times have been tough, and it's certainly good that times are going okay here. Well, thanks for joining us for another episode of Racing in Queensland. Join us next week. Bye for now.